The coolest part of the event for me was the fact that we finally got to release and talk about our big news in terms of our new beer, Big Deal Brewing. What an absolute pleasure it has been to work with a guy like Biz, who's now dove into a beer and something, we got the Pink Whitney. It's amazing. Can't say thank you enough to everyone who buys sports, drinks it. But it's nice for some people who aren't necessarily hard alcohol drinkers who like a nice lager to now be able to, if they want, give our beer a try and support the pod in a different way. So Biz has put so much time and effort into doing this, and it came out great. We got to thank Labatt, and I know we're just chucking around thank yous, but when you're in our situation, like Biz said, you feel truly grateful for everyone. This announcement of this beer was the funniest fucking 10 minutes of my life. I felt so bad for you, Biz. At the same time, I was ready to sprint and jump into a dumpster. We had about 800, it felt like, rabid, lunatic hockey bros screaming, wondering what our surprise would be, only to get out there and have Biz be practicing and trying to figure out what he was going to say in terms of our big announcement, only to have the microphone not work.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. It couldn't have.
We are getting booed by these fans. Biz goes, quiet down, everyone. They're like, boo, shut up. Fuck you, Biz.
Oh.
I look over. I'm on the stage. I said, thank God I'm not the one doing this talking. I would be red-faced, even more red-faced than I am after a usual wet sunburn. I look over, I'm thinking, who is going to fix the fucking audio? Is there an audio guy from this place? I see Ashley. She works for Barstool. She's just twisting the wire. She's never even worked with any audio equipment. I ran off the stage. I said I had enough. Grinnell goes, where are you going? I go, I'm out of here. This is fucking embarrassing. I can't do this.
And then I knew right away. I'm like, oh, I can't wait till Whit to just give it to me on the podcast come Tuesday.
But it's not even giving it to you, and it's not even giving it to the people who set it up.
No,
because they tested the mics and it all worked. But then you get all these people in there, and then the funniest part was
it was Chicago all over again. We did a live show.
Flashbacks to Chicago, dude. I was having flashbacks, the same feeling of
me too.
People are looking at me. I want to throw up. I think in Chicago, I was yelling at you, Grinelli, but you're like, it was just so typical Chiclets to have this awesome moment only to not be able to tell anyone about it.
Well, we get to now.
But we get to now, and in truly classy fashion. I think RA and myself, we both did it for a little bit, but Biz and Merles served beers since we weren't able to talk and tell everyone about it. You guys were bartenders for, I think, close to 2.5, 3 hours. Yeah. You guys must have poured. Now, we'll get into the fact that Biz had no clue how to pour a beer out of a draft. I'm talking, dude. This guy is holding a mug directly beneath the spout.
No.
Busy.
When you first crack it, it's all foam. So when that started when it wasn't kicking like that at the beginning and it started coming out smoother, I know that you tilt the mug and it goes to the side. Come on, I know how to pour a beer. You probably just caught me off the original couple pours where I had to get rid of all the foam.
See, I saw you handing out literally glasses of like Duff foam from The Simpsons. And then I was like, what's this guy doing? Does he know you have to angle the mug? Meanwhile, I'm giving out Pink Whitney shots. Dude, they were... Buffalo is the drunkest city in the country. I will 100%. Argue that with anyone. Those people are raging alcoholics in a great way. If that could be a positive, it is. But they are drunks.
I'll take 2 weeks in Vegas over 4 days in Buffalo. That's a fact. That is a fact, RA.
I was pouring. I had like 4 plastic cups at a time, just, let it run just one after the other. And I was pouring until the keg was done. I was like telling the bar back, I'm like, 7's kicked, buddy. We need to change it. Like I was working there for fucking 6 years or something.
Well, let's dive into it a little bit, guys. About a year ago, we got together with Labatt and we kind of agreed that we were going to, start this venture together. We were going to create Big Deal Brewing. And, we were thinking about what we should call it. And of course, us all the time on the podcast saying, not a big deal, not a big deal, not a big deal. And that banner being behind me, it was just the nostalgia. And I think that it was Jeff who originally was like, what about Big Deal Brewing? And I said, it's right away. I was like, that's fucking genius. And it's something that you don't necessarily even need to listen to the podcast for it to maybe pop off the shelf. And then on top of that, we were fortunate enough, and going back to Barstool, they have a graphic design artist who we hammered back and forth. We must have done 4 or 5 different calls, 16 different back and forths on how to establish the logo. That's the first thing you see. We wanted to give it this throwback type of presence where it wasn't this crazy looking can. It was just boom, Big Deal Brewing, grabbing a couple BDs with the boys, throwing back the big deals. So we thought it had such a good ring to it. And then on top of that, of course, finding a beer, and we agreed on the original golden ale is the one we decided on. We wanted something that was going to be crushable. When I sit down and I watch a hockey game, and I know that the trends are moving away from beer. I don't give a flying fuck what the trends are saying. Hockey fans are beer drinkers.
They like beer.
That is a fact. And I wanted something that was crushable. Maybe not. I didn't want a crazy amount of hops. You know, those are ones that maybe you could drink 1 or 2 of, because I know that the IPAs are very popular right now. I wanted something crushable
with flavor, Biz, not like
I kind of described it, and Biz, correct me. It's like it's in between a Labatt Blue Light or any other light beer you want to mention that's not as good as Labatt Blue Light, and an IPA that sometimes could scare people off. Some people love IPAs, some people don't. It's right in between. And actually, I have said that I think a couple people agreed. Very similar to a Kona Big Wave that I've always really liked. I don't know if you've ever had that, Biz, but a very tasteful, impressive beer, and right in between the kind of extremes of light and really heavy, right?
Yeah, and definitely, Whit, and Big Wave's definitely a beer that I respect. Although it's a lager, I really like Yingling. I didn't want you to drink 12 of them and feel like you have a loaf of bread in your stomach. You know, it has it's got a great malt taste to it and has a beautiful citrus finish. It doesn't linger too long. Guys, I love it. And it took us a while to hammer it out with the brewmaster at Labatt, but we finally got to where it needed to be. And I am so over the moon about this product, and I cannot wait for all of you to try it. It's going to come out in limited states in October, right as the hockey season is launching. It will be available probably in around 25 different states in a ton of different distributors. Like you know, I think Walmart's going to carry it in some places. So you're going to be able to find it wherever you are in these states. And I believe come March, it'll be available in about 25 of the how many states are there? 52 states?
50, bro.
Check.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Here we go.
He's Canadian.
Here we go. Here we go.
Well, there's 15 provinces, right?
I was going to say, how many provinces?
I'm kidding.
I think there's 10 in 2 territories. I mean, I could be wrong about that too, though.
There's one thing people keep asking. We call it a beer venture, or we're calling it a beer company. And why don't you explain that? How it's not, we're not stopping at the golden ale. Like, we're going to keep making different beers throughout this whole partnership.
Absolutely. And that's, yeah. Thank you for bringing that up, G. So we obviously wanted to start out with one that was going to be the main theme of one that's going to be around forever. You know, we're going to do different types of projects. Like, you know, we're not going to tell you what's next. We've already started sampling and carving out what is going to be next. These might come with limited drops in the summertime. They might come with limited drops throughout the holiday season, but that's why we called it Big Deal Brewing, not Big Deal Brew. So that's what's so cool about Labatt is they were also willing to listen to that, and they were very gung-ho about not just stopping at doing one. So we have more projects on the go with this. We're very, very excited at the way it was received and the positivity online. And I really hope that you guys enjoy it when you do get a chance to try it. There's a reason I was pouring beers for 2.5 hours. People kept coming back. We gave everybody these engraved mugs at the event, hopefully to make up for the fact that they couldn't hear what the fuck was even going on and what this thing was to begin with. But gee,
you know what I could hear though?
What's that?
I could hear RA's war cry. Can we go into that, RA?
Yeah.
That might have been you telling me that story in the state you were in was one of the most amazing 7 minutes of my life.